this is the innermost part of the Autopilot here, and this is, I think, where maybe we're having some problems. I don't know if you can make it out here, but there's this little hole, and that goes straight through, and there is a roll pin that should go in there. Ours was quite... oh, shoot. Ours was quite broken, the roll pin was, and I'm not sure if I broke it when I was taking it out or if it was broken to begin with, but either way, we've got a new one, and we're going to put it in. The folks over at Raymarine, the guy who I spoke to from technical support, he thought that if that roll pin was broken, part of it could be coming out and sort of catching in here as the thing turns, and that maybe that was where we were having our problems. I'm not quite sure I buy that, but it's some explanation as opposed to no explanation, which which is the other solution, because I really didn't find anything wrong with it other than that roll pin when I took this thing apart. If you're trying to take this apart yourself, I'll show you when we put it back together how these pieces came, but you can see here these are 5 different pieces here. There's these 2 washers on the outside, and then the 2 more inner ones are both, well, shoot, I can show you, are, filled with ball bearings or rollers, and then in that inner part you have that, obviously, that sort of big washer with the hole in it for the roll pin. So I'm going to get this back together. I take it all out. You can see it right here as all excess graphite spray, because I sprayed it down with graphite at the recommendation from the folks from Raymarine. So I'll take you through this. Alright, so I got the pin back in there, so this is all together, and the next step will then be to put this piece on, and it's going to go like this, and then it's going to end up being flush in there, and you can see that there's 4 holes here. I'll have to line those up in there, and then I'll put some bolts in there that will hold it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and come back. Okay, so as you can see, that is now in there. The next step then is to put this on. I'm going to put it in like that. It's really easy. And then all of these gears will slide in like that. And it's going to be very simple. In fact, I could probably do it right here, but we got that. And then this goes on. Don't want these to fall all over the place while you're doing it, but let's see, it's so, well, I'll work that on, but you get the idea of what's going on here. And then, well, then I'll take you through the rest. This whole contraption here, especially these pieces, I've read that a lot of people have problems with these, that the teeth break off or get worn down. You can buy a new set of these from Raymarine, and we didn't do it right now, but we certainly will before we take this boat anywhere far, so that we can have these as a backup, because this seems to be the piece on the thing that breaks most often. Newer linear drive units, I think it's after maybe 93 or something like that, or maybe it's 2003, have the brass ones, gears here rather than the plastic ones. But okay, so you see it's all back on. The next thing I'm going to do is put this another roll pin right in here and get it in there, and that will hold everything together, and then I'll take you through the next step. Okay, so I got the pin back in here, and I figured I'd just show you how I do it. Got this supported on the wood. Make sure you don't got these pieces on the wood, but just the metal piece here. And then I used a punch to just bang it down and into the hole, and got it, little ways into the hole, centered as I could. And so there we are. I'll take you through the next step in a second here. Okay, the next step here will be to put this belt across between here and over here. I don't know if you can tell, but I've already loosened the 3 bolts, or taken off the 3 bolts that come here. If you were trying to take apart your Autopilot, you would need to take those 3 out in order to get that belt off. And by taking those off, it allows the motor to just move a little bit and allows you to get the belt then on. And then as we're putting it back together here, I'm going to get the belt on and then put those back in and tighten it all up. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you in a second. So the next step will be to get this on here and over to there. And in order to do that, and then in order to take it off, if you're working the opposite way, got a garbage truck going by. But the way to do that is to take off these three, bolts, and then that will allow you to move this sideways to give you some more play to get the the band on there. What the hell is that called? This thing. But anyway, I'll loosen those up and then I'll show you when I'm all done. Alright, so that belt is all back together. And the next step here will be putting this on like so. And got to get the sort of it over the gears, so I'm going to have to work it a little bit. And then we'll have this sticking out, and we've got a couple more pieces to put on here. And this is the part that probably gave me the most problems when I was taking it apart, trying to figure out how it worked. And so I'll show you that in a second. But let me get on this piece here. So now you can see we've got this back on, and we're going to be securing it now with these two. These are, I guess, just two bushings or something. But this thing right here was the thing that was giving me a little bit of trouble to get off. I can't even remember what it's called, but I'll put what it's called down in the comments or in a post on this. Presumably there's a tool that we can get two little pins in there and then kind of pry them apart like pliers. And there's certainly a tool for bigger ones of these, but I could not find the tool for one this small. And I ended up just using some needle nose pliers and a little tiny screwdriver to sort of pry it off. But that was, like I said, the most difficult part of getting this off, just because I was looking for the correct tool, and I guess I'd still like to have the correct tool if I could find it. But in absence of that, I was just using some other things. So I'll put it back together, and then I'll show you what's up. Turned out to be just as big of a problem to get it back on as it was to get off, but it's back on now, and so now it's really just a matter of closing the whole system up, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Next step is to put this back on here, and you can see these 4 holes at the corner. Those will be the way that we'll attach it with these bolts, so there should be 4 of those. It's going to match up. We're going to put them through over here, these holes, to get that cover on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. Alright, you can see that cover is back on, so the next step will be to put this cover right here on, and it just slips right over. And then once I get this on, slip it on, I'll show you how to how to put the bolts on. Actually, before I should say that there's a step before that. The next step is to put these in here, and they screw in, and then at the very end you need to use a wrench to socket set to get it the rest of the way. Just tighten it down. And so I'll put the other one in, and then I'll get that cover on, and then we'll come back to look at the final step. Okay, and the final step to put this together is to just put these 2 screws right in here. I guess that will be the first step if you're taking yours apart. And then it's all ready to go, and we just need to hook it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. Okay, as you can see, the whole unit is back together. I will put up a post with a little bit more information about the AutoHelm linear drive unit, the Raymarine unit. Just a couple links to some other useful information about it. These systems seem pretty easy once you finally get them apart and opened up. They're really simple things, just the motor, a couple gears, and a couple other parts. And all these parts are still available through Raymarine, even if it's a really old AutoHelm unit. So it seems like these things could run forever if you were willing to put in the time and effort to fix them. The other great thing about it is you could stockpile some parts and be ready to go if you were voyaging somewhere or something like that. I'm just hoping that taking it apart, adding some grease to it, replacing that pin and stuff like that is going to get rid of our problem, which was just a little sort of hiccup when we were going to port. When we were going to starboard, it was fine. It was to port where it would sometimes catch and occasionally actually turn off the autopilot because of it. So hopefully that solved our problem. We'll let you know once we get it on the boat and check it out. In the meantime, like I said, check out that blog post and we'll be talking to you.